Leaders of thought urge Nigerians on peaceful coexistence, tolerance for national progress as Eid al-Fitr wraps up.
While urging all to put all hands on deck to pray for the lasting peaceful coexistence of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Compassion and solidarity side by side as Governor Okpeboho visits families of victims of Uromi tragedy in Kano.
Everything will be okay. By the grace of God. Thank you very much.
Global migration crime, Nigeria pushes for stronger collaboration through enhanced data sharing. Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Our busy businessman, Benny Adams, will be bringing us some business reports. Benny?
Yes, on business, we remind investors that Nigeria guarantees return on investment as the federal government is set to bring in $50 billion investment pledges from across the world.
And our sportsman, Bade Adeleye, has latest in the world of sports. Bade.
Elizabeth, it's 48 hours to the commencement of the 2025 Africa Women's Volleyball Club Championship, and I can tell you, the stage is set.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Hingino John Adams will be joining us in the course of the bulletin from Lagos. Don't forget to follow this newscast live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News now on X and other social handles displayed on the screen. Families of victims of Uromi tragedy have joined Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf in commending the Governor of Edo State, Monday, Okpeboho's compassion. This was as the Governor paid a condolence visit to the Turankawa community in Bunkure local government area of Kano State. Abdullahi Mustafa brings us details.
Turankawa, a community in Bunkure local government area of Kano State, the usual joy of the holiday has been overshadowed by a tragedy as 7 of their sons were among 16 travelers murdered in Edo State while on their way home to mark the festive occasion. Yet, Turankawa's grief is not one they bear alone. In a gesture of solidarity, Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo visited the mourning families alongside his counterpart Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State. Governor Okpebholo, who addressed them in Hausa language, promised not only that justice would be served, but also that the affected families would receive the necessary assistance during this difficult time.
So far, 14 arrests have been made, and the suspects are in police custody. Everything will be okay. By the grace of God. Thank you very much.
The visit was appreciated by the community, with local leaders, including the Emir of Kano, Muhammad Isa Umar, expressing their gratitude for the compassion. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Still on the Uromi tragedy, the Minority Caucus of the House of Representatives condemns the murder of 16 Nigerians in Edo State, describing it as barbaric. In a statement, the caucus says such brutal killings of innocent Nigerians in any part of the country by lawless mobs must not be allowed to fester without decisive actions by the federal government. It implores Nigerians to shun jungle attacks and utilize the services of lawful authorities to address security concerns. The Minority Caucus also urges relevant tiers of government and security agencies to expedite investigations to apprehend culprits and ensure affected families are compensated. Meanwhile, the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, lauds Governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpeboho, for his swift and decisive actions following the tragic killing of travelers in Uromi, Edo State on March 27, 2025. In a statement by the Executive Director of CISLAC, the organization commends Governor Okpeboho's response after the horrific incident. The governor not only visited the bereaved families in Kano State to offer his condolences, also assured them of his commitment to justice. As a civil society organization dedicated to promoting good governance, rule of law, and the protection of human rights, CISLAC strongly supports the governor's actions, especially the disbanding of unregulated vigilante groups that pose serious threats to public safety and the rule of law. Now, Vice President Kashim Shettima urges Nigerians to embrace unity, peaceful coexistence and tolerance as key pillars for national progress, drawing from the lessons of Ramadan. He made the call in Maiduguri during a luncheon with Borno State elders and his schoolmates in celebration of Eid al-Fitr. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila brings us details.
Members of the highly revered Borno Elders Forum here to celebrate with Vice President Kashim Shettima for the successful end of Ramadan fast and also appreciate his role in advancing Nigeria's transformation under the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. Vice President Kashim Shettima called on them to support the administration's ongoing economic reforms, assuring that the short-term difficulties will yield long-term benefits for the country. The Vice President, who spoke through the member representing Maiduguri Metropolitan Constituency at the House of Representatives, Abdul Qadir Rahis, said there was a need for continued harmony among citizens.
I wish also to say that we should all, at all times, maintain and build on this sense of unity for our collective gain and progress as a people. May Almighty Allah protect the Vice President, our boss, our mentor, the good people of Borno State and Nigeria in general.
Vice President Shettima said President Tinubu remains committed to implementing policies that will create sustainable development, urging Nigerians to continue embodying the spiritual lessons gained during Ramadan as a pathway to national development. He enjoined the citizens of Borno State and Nigerians in general to always maintain threads of humility, communal living, and values, which he described as foundation for national progress. Chairman of the Borno State Elders Forum, Gambo Gubuyo, expressed appreciation for the Vice President's hospitality and assured him of continued prayers for success in his duties.
I want Nigerians to emulate him, Nigerians to give him the maximum cooperation as he deputizes his boss, His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, while urging all to put all hands on deck to pray for the lasting peaceful coexistence of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Extreme gentleman, of high, immense character. And we are all proud of him, and everybody is proud of him to see, like I said, the faces of the people that have attended this wonderful event.
Other stakeholders urged Nigerians to rally round President Tinubu, stressing the need for continued prayers and support towards the implementation of the administration's policies for the improvement of the economy and overall development of Nigeria. From Maiduguri, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Talking security, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma enjoins the Muslim community in the state to partner the state government in the fight against crimes and criminalities in order to ensure safety of all and sundry living in the state. He made the appeal during a special Salah banquet held at the Government House, Owerri, as part of activities marking this year's Eid al-Fitr celebration in the state.
Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma, while congratulating Muslim faithful in the state on their successful completion of the 2025 Ramadan season, urged them to remain committed to fostering harmony among themselves and members of other religions.
Help the government to fight crime. Help the government to stop violence.
The leader of Hausa community in Imo State, Awal Baba Suleiman, commended the governor for his inclusive governance.
Your leadership has fostered an environment whereby Muslims community in Imo State feel secured.
The Salah banquet was also attended by some non-Muslim leaders in the state.
Still on security matters, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, reaffirms the commitment of the Nigerian Air Force to the welfare and operational effectiveness of its personnel. A statement by the Deputy Director, Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Kabir Ali, says this was at the 2025 Salah luncheon with troops of the Air Component Operation Fansanyama in Katsina State, represented by the Air Officer Commanding Special Operations Command, Air Vice Marshal Usman Abdullahi, the Chief of Air Staff, commended the troops for their resilience, dedication, and professionalism in safeguarding the nation, assuring them that their sacrifices would not go unrecognized. He urges the troops to remain steadfast in their mission to secure and restore normalcy and acknowledged President Tinubu's support for the NAF. In the spirit of Eid al-Fitr celebration, the Yobe State government extended a hand of kindness to Almajiri pupils, providing them free Salah meals, ensuring these children are not left behind during the festive season. The gesture is part of government's efforts to promote the welfare of vulnerable children who often struggle to make ends meet. Unisa Sulaiman tells us more.
Yobe State in northeast Nigeria is a hub for Almajiris from various northern states who come to learn the art of reciting and memorizing the Holy Quran. As a result, they can be found in all nooks and crannies of the state. This category of children is usually tagged as vulnerable and marginalized, particularly during festive seasons. However, in Yobe State, they now have a reason to rejoice, thanks to the distribution of free Salah meals by the state government in the spirit of the season. We are thrilled by this heartwarming gesture and hope it will be sustained. Sharing food and extending kindness are some of the activities that this period encourages. Under this initiative, 3,600 Almajiri pupils in 6 local government areas of the state are benefiting from this gesture, aims to provide a sense of belonging and happiness to these children who are often overlooked during celebrations.
This particular program aims at building synergy between the state government and Almajiri schools so that they can feel the government is theirs, they can see the government has concern for them, and it is quite motivational so that when the government comes with policies and programs, they can easily grab it.
What the Northeast Development Commission is to support and encourage the state government and encourage the teachers of the Almajiri to have these occasions at home instead of roaming around.
As part of the celebrations, people are encouraged to extend some act of kindness to those around them. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Let's shift attention to migration crimes. Nigeria is pushing for stronger international collaboration to combat organized immigration crime. At the Border Security Summit in London, hosted by the UK Prime Minister, Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo emphasized the need for enhanced data sharing and border partnerships. He highlighted Nigeria's efforts in border security, stating that the country has upgraded surveillance technology and strengthened migration management. Tunji-Ojo stressed that OIC is a global challenge requiring a united front, noting that proactive measures are key to preventing the crime rather than just reacting to it. You're watching the Network News on NTA. Let's take a break. The news continues shortly. Thanks for staying with the NTA. A special prayer session has been organized in Zamfara State for the administration of President Bola Tinubu to succeed in all spheres for the growth of the nation. The event is part of activities scheduled by a former Zamfara State governor and now 7th senator representing the state's West Senatorial District, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, to mark this year's Eid al-Fitr. Jamilu Ibrahim reports.
The commitment of the Tinubu administration to secure the country and stabilize the economy is a struggle that requires collective efforts and divine intervention. It is against this backdrop that the former Zamfara State Governor and now National Assembly member representing the State West Senatorial District, Senator Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar, organized a special prayer session for President Tinubu as part of activities to mark this year's Eid al-Fitr. Some renowned Islamic scholars from across the Northwest geopolitical zone took time to observe the special prayers. The clerics particularly prayed Allah to guide and protect President Tinubu and to grant him more wisdom in steering the affairs of the country.
May Almighty Allah grant President Tinubu more wisdom to lead the country to prosperity. May Allah guide all his steps towards securing the country and stabilize the economy. May Allah crown President Tinubu's effort to end insecurity with a resounding success. I pray that Allah will make it easier for our leaders at all levels to deliver on their mandate.
Senator Abdulaziz Yari, who underscores the importance of praying for leaders at all levels, said the positive impacts of the President Tinubu's policies and programs had begun to manifest. The special prayers are built to be holding periodically. From Talata Mafara local government area of Zamfara State, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
To eye care, hundreds of people in Ilesha, Osun State are beneficiaries of a free eye care and vision screening program organized by Nigeria's former High Commissioner to Australia, Ambassador Ayo Olukomi. Femi Afariogun reports.
From the elderly who had lived with blurry vision for years to young students struggling to read their books, Ambassador Ayo Olukani provided comprehensive eye tests, prescription glasses, and consultation with specialists for free for these people. The program initially targeted to cater for 70 people to celebrate former High Commissioner to Australia, Ambassador Ayo Olukani, at 70, was later made to accommodate more than 100 people from Ilesha.
A lot of people are losing their eyesight due to poverty, ignorance, and carelessness. Even if it is 10 people, you are able to identify and that they can do something in terms of early detection.
This program is really very nice, especially for the old people.
It's a very laudable project.
Be a culture we should adopt.
Diseases are all over the place, so we don't have to wait for the government to do all these things.
Olukani, he was also the former Director General at Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Nasima. From Ilesha in Osun State, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
In other news, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation has flagged off 3 critical water projects in Benue State under the Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation Professor Joseph Utsev performed the groundbreaking in Boko, the administrative headquarters of the Tiv Nation. Charles Abba reports.
3 cardinal water projects approved for execution under the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President include flag-off of the rehabilitation and upgrading of the Buruku-Boko water supply project, rehabilitation and improvement of Wanone water supply project involving construction of 4 solar motorable boreholes and rehabilitation of existing water supply schemes and pipelines, and construction of the Ugbema water supply project including irrigation schemes.
To provide a reliable and sustainable water supply system to meet the growing demands of the populace, we will take ownership of this project. We will protect this project. We will watch over this project.
In the Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President is to boost food production, and our ministry is very keen. It's in that line that we are establishing this project.
This project is a monumental project.
The projects are expected to be completed within 18 months. From Wanone, Taka local government area of Benue State, Charles Abba, NTA News.
To weather projection, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET forecasts that weather conditions in April will be hot across the country, with temperatures potentially reaching as high as 42 degrees Celsius in the northern region of the country. In a statement, the agency notes that these high temperatures will cause significant thermal discomfort across many states. It predicts that central and northern states will face a high risk of heat exhaustion and heat stroke, while southern states will also experience heat stress. NIMET further reports that coastal areas will see temperatures warmer than average, while central and northern states will experience slightly elevated temperatures. Rainfall is expected in coastal states such as Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Imo, Anambra, Cross River, and other southern states. The Weather Monitoring Agency warns of an increased risk of malaria in southern states and parts of Kwara, Kogi, and Benue due to heightened mosquito activities. Additionally, there is a meningitis alert for extreme north where conditions are conducive to outbreaks. Heat-related illnesses, including heat exhaustion and heat stroke, are anticipated in the central and northern regions. Now, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, at a stakeholders meeting in Yenagoa, says the essence of its continuous engagement with stakeholders is to identify gaps, address them, and work to ensure effectiveness in the surveillance of Nigeria's pipelines. This is as the company says the review of its operations with stakeholders would help ensure performance and increase revenue generation for Nigeria. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
This forum brings together key players in the pipeline surveillance service from the 3 local government areas of Yenagoa, Southern Ijaw and Abuja, where the company is carrying out operations. At the event, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited gave account of its corporate social responsibility programs intended to help build harmonious relationship in the collective protection of Nigeria's oil pipeline, increase production and generate more revenue for the nation.
There's a big difference. The production of crude oil has drastically increased due to the activities of these surveillance companies. The surveillance guards in the communities are doing very well to ensure that the national assets are well safeguarded.
Being an engagement with the leadership of the communities where oil pipeline surveillance projects are ongoing, the event also created opportunity for need assessment from the host communities.
Let me use this opportunity to commend the pipeline security operators in my domain. They're doing very well.
When you have understanding with people, try and keep to what you say. It's important. It builds confidence and inspire people to do, because when you say it, they know you will carry it out.
Other areas of consideration raised by participants are issues of potable water, environmental rights, a stop to internal wrangling, and reaching out to those still in the struggle within the creeks. I'm Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
It's time to pause here in Abuja and join Hingino in Lagos for reports from her zone. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and welcome to Lagos. Imbibing the spiritual ethos of Ramadan as the yardstick for every Muslim is the actual goal of the spiritual exercise. These are views of Islamic scholars and faithful as they fulfill one of the most important injunctions of Islam. Lanre Belei has details.
Ramadan is one of the defining moments of a Muslim, a time to express spiritual expectations. It is also a call to action to demonstrate the beliefs of Islam, grounded in the fear of Allah in a 30-day fast. With this obligation stated and understood by Islamic faithful, making this a standard of living should become the goal of every Muslim.
After Ramadan, let us continue to be our neighbor's keeper. Let us show good hands and good fellowship to our neighbors.
So goodness doesn't end with Ramadan. It's just the time to say, let's re-emphasize it.
These things that we did during the month of Ramadan should continue after the month of Ramadan. We should continue to worship God. We should continue to be of good behavior, to do whatever is expected of us as a good Muslim. Muslims are convinced that performing pious acts during Ramadan is fundamental, as great rewards from Allah await those who made the spiritual awakening of Ramadan their everyday life, which they describe as an epitome of a true believer of Islamic faith. In Lagos, Lanre Belei, NTA News.
One way of protecting the integrity of Nigeria's financial system is the strict compliance to declaration of cash above $10,000 at the nation's international airports. The Customs Area Controller in charge of Murtala Mohammed International Airport, John Harrison, says the agency has also stepped up surveillance to tackle illicit financial flows. Joel Pukbola has the report.
Monitoring illicit financial flows into and out of the country is important for national security. It is also an important aspect of the Anti-Money Laundering Act. So relevant law enforcement agencies, particularly the Nigerian Customs, are tackling this via enforcement of the Anti-Money Laundering Directive on declaration of cash above the threshold of $10,000. Many inbound and outbound travelers that have breached this directive have been apprehended, with several seizures recorded to the tune of over $500,000.
We have taken steps to leave the forms at the counters of the airlines in order for every passengers to be able to avail themselves to declare their currencies and even equivalent other negotiable instruments of that value and above, like you have gold and other things.
Large chunk of cash like these foreign currencies have been handed over to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) for necessary actions as part of the interagency synergy.
Always working together. At a point, I was even with the custom 247 in FOU. So we are one agency with a common goal, serving our country. I want to urge members of the public to be wary of this kind of act. The provision of the law is very clear.
The zonal coordinator of the commission says the agency will not relent in its quest to change the wanted narrative to give Nigeria credibility among the Committee of Nations. In Lagos, Joel Pukbola, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. The network news will continue with...
Thanks for staying with us. And it's time to talk business. Our busy businessman, Benny Adams, is ready. Benny?
Thank you, Elizabeth. And talking business, policymakers have been urged to review and relax stringent regulations hindering access to grants and support. This is believed to be crucial in unlocking Nigeria's economic growth potential and empowering women to drive business innovation. Momso Damian Dati reports that this was central at a recent town hall meeting by women entrepreneurs in Abuja.
Policies, but there should be a way where some of these policies are more streamlined to women.
From the nooks and crannies of Abuja and beyond, those women entrepreneurs have converged to rub minds and review strategies to boost their businesses for economic growth.
Access to funds is practically not accessible. The rigidity in access to finance should be reduced. The policies should come down to our level, BRS minimum. It's time for women to stand up and understand collaboration beyond competition.
What is the standard of what we are producing? Where can we have access to this since we are saying that women are producing? Then we can lead government institutions to be the first offtake of those products. If you can empower me, and again, my end product is not good for you, then why are you doing it?
The present government has actually prioritized, funding for MSMEs. Not only funding, even grants. There's MSME Development Fund that has a provision of 60% for women.
Their goal is to transform Nigeria's economy through MSMEs.
We are advocating that instead of government and like them say the National Assembly buying exported products in maybe toiletries or food items or beverages, they should patronize made in Nigerian products. They're not even looking for markets. We ourselves, we are our own market. We are over 200 million in population. So imagine we're buying something within ourselves. What does it tell you as a business owner? That your brand will grow. And in that we are bridging the gap of importation, because in China, most of what they export more in China than what they import. And China also use their own made in China product than other countries. So we should imbibe that value, and that way our SME landscape will continue to grow.
It is the first time Women Business Town Hall meeting is being organized by the Women Enterprise Alliance. Momso Damian Dati, NTA News.
Well, Momsude, I quite agree with you. Patronize and made in Nigeria. And from that, we move to investors. Real investors don't wait for perfect business environment to invest, but instead go where there is a promise of policy consistency as they look to clearer, more predictable, more coherent and consistent set of policies, regulations, and stability. This is as the federal government, through the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, is looking to track $50 billion US investment pledges into Nigeria.
What you want to do in terms of incentive design is to create enough confidence in the stability of the policy and the regulatory environment long enough for the ROIs and the profit maximization to begin, and most investors will jump in. You know, I don't think any investor is looking at sub-Saharan Africa and thinking it's a perfect place to be. No, but I don't think any of them is looking at it and saying they want to wait for it to be a perfect place before they come. So show some policy predictability. And in this regard, I think it's important for most of the policymakers that are still in policy review mode to complete, at least within the first half of the year, all policies that affect economic activity. So that approved policies now give a sense of stability on where the government will go in 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 8 years, as the case may be, where the country will go in 10 years. And that gives you the stability you need to put your money where your mouth is.
We had it all. Put your money where your mouth is. That is it on business. Elizabeth, you can take it from here.
Thank you so much, Benny. Talking education, the University of Public Relations and Leadership has secured the promise of the Nasarawa state government for its takeoff in 2026. The state governor, Abdullahi Sule, made the promise when the president and chairman of Governing Council, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Dr. Ike Niliako, briefed him on the development concerning the university being powered by the NIPR. Haman Jabani reports.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and Leadership University, which will be situated in Nasarawa State, is believed to be the first of such kind university in the world, will be having its first matriculation around November 2026, highlighting some of the progresses made towards the takeoff of the university. President and Chairman of Governing Council, NIPR, Dr. Ike Niliako, says much have been achieved in the area of collaboration with other institutions, while arrangements are still on the issue of the venue for the takeoff of the institution.
We want to raise a generation of qualitative leaders for the nation who are vast in effective communication. So it's a university that everybody should come together to see to its establishment.
In fact, I have become an automatic member of the PIC right now. I want to be part of it. I want to know what is happening at every point. I want to follow it myself. I want to visit the site myself to make sure that this is happening, because this is good for Nigeria. First, it is good for Nasarawa State. Forget my village. It can be any other place.
He's an investment-driven governor, and then he sees leadership as public relations and public relations as leadership.
NIPR used the opportunity to inform the governor of the Nigeria's hosting right of the World Public Relations Forum in 2026. Haban Jabani, NTA News.
Now to inclusion. Disability advocates are calling for the immediate adoption of 14 essential guidelines to foster inclusivity in political parties. These guidelines include conducting accessibility audits, ensuring sign language interpreters are available, and creating accessible digital platforms. Ufan Shajigwai tells us more.
As Nigeria continues to make strides towards a more inclusive democracy, the Westminster Foundation for Democracy, WFD, and the Center for Ability, Rehabilitation and Empowerment, KNG, have just released reports that shed light on the systematic exclusion of persons with disabilities from politics.
And we have also found out that even the entrance of entry political party offices has already constituted a barrier, not even talking about having them on the seats with all other politicians, but for the fact that they can't even access political party offices has created a barrier already, and it has excluded them.
These reports are not just about highlighting the problems, they are also all about offering solutions.
With this report, it ignites the advocacy and the need for us to understand that these people have to be represented minimally, at least at the Senate, at the House of Reps, and the state assemblies. If other appointments don't come, let this be constitutionally recognized.
The organizations are also urging political parties to take immediate action to adopt these guidelines and make these spaces more inclusive. In Abuja, Gofan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
Another break beckons, we will take it. You're still watching the network news on NTA. Now to the foreign scene, European Union Chief Ursula von der Leyen says the bloc still hopes for a negotiated solution to the expected imposition of sweeping U.S. tariffs this week. But all instruments are on the table to hit back if the need arises. Framapani brings us details of this and more.
Leyen noted that Europe has not started the tariff confrontation while addressing a European Parliament session.
We do not necessarily want to retaliate, but if it is necessary, we have a strong plan to retaliate and we will use it.
Meanwhile, the European Union's top diplomat on Tuesday said there is overwhelming evidence of war crimes in the Ukrainian city of Abuja, where Russia's army is accused of murdering hundreds of civilians.
From photos to phone records and decoded call signs used by commanders of Russian radio channels, there is no denying it. Now, we know exactly who the perpetrators are.
Ukrainian authorities have opened more than 180,000 war crimes investigations, Zelensky said on Monday at a ceremony in Bucha, putting hopes on the International Criminal Court to bring the most high-level criminals to justice. Carlos stressed that the EU was supporting the Ukrainian Prosecutor General's office and was strengthening its capacity to investigate international crimes, including through a civilian EU advisory mission. Frama Pani, NTA News.
Let's now talk sports. Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, has described the remarkable achievements of young Nigerian chess players from the Chess in Slums initiative as outstanding. The 12th Annual Chess and Community Conference in the United States includes multiple medals and scholarships, which showcased the brilliance and resilience of the Nigerian youth on the global stage. Abike Dabiri, in a statement through the Commission's Media, Public Relations and Protocol, Gabriel Odu, commended the Chess in Slums founder Tunde Onokoya for his dedication to empowering underprivileged children through chess. Tunde Onokoya, a renowned Guinness World Record holder for the longest marathon in chess, introduced less privileged children to the game of chess, thereby fostering critical thinking, confidence, and providing opportunities for them. And for more sporting stories, let's join our spot button on the news tonight. Thank you so much for your time. To remember to remain patriotic, I'm Elizabeth Omori.